Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for checking out this video. From I do to we can. 12 tips on how to navigate your first year of marriage. Now, this video is done because somehow it is said that the first year of every marriage is normally the most challenging. So in this particular video, I'm trying to see how I can help based on my own experience and based on the numerous other people that I have done marital counseling for and their own experiences, the ways and the keys and the tips that you could also learn and adopt in your own first year of marriage. We're going to see how we can make it be one of the most fulfilling years and one of the most exciting years for you, because really that first year is supposed to be your best time to bond and to know each other well. So I'm going to be sharing 12 tips that will help you navigate your first year of marriage. So I start with the first tip, which is cultivate open and honest communication as the standard in your marriage. There are a whole lot of things that can come up, especially because these are two individuals. You guys are two individuals coming from different backgrounds, growing up with different sets of value systems, different life experiences, and inevitably, when the two of you now come together in marriage, there will be a little bit of friction. There will be a little bit of adjustment. One major key that will help you adjust perfectly well is open and honest communication. Tell it as it is. Tell it in love, but tell it as it is. Don't hide things. Whatever you hide, one day it will still come out. And when it comes out, it may come out in an untidy way. So adopt it as a standard in your marriage, that you both will communicate openly and honestly about any issues that bother you or about any issues that are on the table at that particular point in time. This is very important. No marriage can survive. In fact, no relationship can survive without communication. And when you have honest and open communication, that is the best platform to enable bonding and understanding to be effectively achieved in your marriage relationships. So, second tip is do an expectations check. What do I mean by expectations check? We all have expectations. Some of these expectations even came from when we were young. Everybody had expectations of what the ideal husband or the ideal wife should be. But when we now get married, sometimes our expectations may not exactly be met. It's even interesting enough to know that at the time of courting, at the time of dating, there are also expectations, new expectations that come up. Sometimes those expectations are based on what is observed. Sometimes those expectations are based on what is hoped for or what is expected to come to pass when you ultimately get married. But when you now marry, things may be a bit different. Some people say that when you're dating, everybody brings out their best part. But when you now get married, everybody sees the rest of who you are. So do an expectations check. And what does that really mean? Whatever your expectations are coming into the marriage, they are valid. But when you start seeing changes, don't let those changes be something that will really pull you down. Always map your expectations with the dynamics on ground at the time and with the person you're observing, because we are still learning each other. Even after years of marriage, you still learn your spouse, especially that first year of marriage. There may be certain things you see when dating that will be radically different sometimes from when being married. Sometimes they may be similar, sometimes the differences may be slight, but many a times the marriage dynamic can bring up new characteristics or new traits or new mindsets or new behaviors that may not necessarily mean that the person is bad. It just means that the new dynamic of marriage is bringing out new things that you need to check and watch for and probably make an adjustment for. So the expectations check is make adjustments for what you're seeing. Map your expectations which may be up there in the moon, to the reality on ground based on the specific context that you find yourselves. I give you an example. There are times people get married, and at the time they got married, there was all the money, there was all the goodies, there was all the pleasures, so everything was smooth sailing. But a month after marriage, somebody loses their job, maybe the major breadwinner loses their job, and pressure comes on the marriage, pressure comes on the relationship. So the expectations you probably had getting married now begin to change a little bit because of the changing dynamic of the situation you guys find yourselves in. That does not mean you should get upset. That does not mean you should come out guns blazing and fighting and angry and upset with everything. All it just means is you make adjustments. Make adjustments with your expectations so that you don't get disappointed. Adjust based on the circumstances on ground and set your expectations based on that reality on ground so that you guys can build from there and stand strong as a married couple. Now, the third tip is this: spend quality time together. You guys are getting to know yourselves. I can tell you the honest truth. Don't be deceived by whatever you see during the dating and the courtship time. There are some people that have dated and courted for 10 years, and then they now get married and they're looking for divorce in 6 months. And you're wondering, I thought these people knew themselves for 10 years. No, there's something about the marriage institution that is different. There are different dynamics that come out of it, and there are also different satanic attacks that come at it. So in that period, whenever you guys are spending quality time together, you're spending time interacting, knowing each other, rubbing ideas, sharing your dreams. It helps to make you guys to be strong. It helps to make you guys to navigate that first year. Very important. Make out time for each other. Don't be too busy for each other so you can get to know each other more. The fourth tip is be flexible and patient. Like I said, you two are two different individuals coming from different backgrounds. There is no way you will come together and there won't be some friction or there won't be some need to adjust. So be flexible. Don't be so hard. Don't be so rigid. If you're rigid, you're going to have a problem in your relationships. I can bet you that. There are some people who, during dating, they just have a mindset. This is what I want to achieve when I marry this man. This is what I want to achieve when I marry this woman. And irrespective of whatever the case, that mindset is what they have firmed up in their head. And when they get into the marriage proper, they want to force down that mode or that mindset that they have onto their partner. And sometimes it doesn't work that way. It doesn't. Be flexible. This is a human being in their own right, with full rights to have their own ideas and their own mindset about issues, because they've grown up to a particular level independent of you. So you have to be the kind of person that is flexible. You don't know it all. Be flexible and be willing to adapt to your partner when you guys get married. And also, please be patient. Some changes don't happen immediately. Be patient. When there are certain things you've already communicated, maybe you don't like, and you're expecting change, be patient enough to allow that change process to happen. Somebody grew up in a particular way for 30-something years, for instance, or maybe 20-something years, depending on the age the person is getting married. And then you guys get married, and you expect in 2 or 3 months they just throw away the upbringing that they have coded themselves with and adopt the new thing. Sometimes that change is not that rapid. So also be patient while you're being flexible. Tip number 5. Please articulate your responsibilities in the house. Have shared responsibilities, and let those responsibilities be shared fairly. Let them be shared in agreement. Let everybody know what they are supposed to do in order to make that home to work. Who is supposed to pay which bills? Who is supposed to take care of what? Let it be well articulated, fairly decided. Even if it's not fairly decided, at least let there be agreement in the shared responsibilities. It helps in order to make the home to function properly. Tip number 6. Develop effective conflict resolution techniques. Conflicts will always arise. Whenever human beings come together, they will always arise. But your ability to resolve those conflicts and still be strong is something that you must make sure that you imbibe in your home. So you can decide, for example, as a ground rule in the home, that nobody goes to bed angry with the other person. That's an important ground rule I even set for myself, because you never know if when you wake up, the person will wake up with you. And sometimes some of the issues that bother us and some of the issues that annoy us are trivial compared to the grand scheme of things. There are other keys, for example, like never raising your voice at your partner. If you want to resolve anything with your partner, you talk calmly. You don't need to raise your voice. Your partner is not a dog. That being said, the next tip I'm going to give is cultivate financial transparency. Money is one of the things that creates tension in a home. Don't let it create tension in your own marriage. Be open about money. And I know this is one part that a whole lot of people are not doing. A whole lot of people, they are always kind of not eager to let their partners know how much they have and all that. You may have your reasons, and I won't argue with you on that. Maybe your partner does not know how to spend or does not know how to budget or whatever. That's fine. But sometimes it may actually be good to a large degree, be transparent about financial dealings in the home so that everybody knows where we are at when it comes to finances. When you're not open and sincere about your financial dealings, what happens is that one person is putting an expectation on you that you should pay for a certain thing, not knowing whether you have it or not. And when you don't have the finances, you get grumpy, you may react in a way that is not too good, and then there will be friction in the house because your partner is expecting that you have it, but in truth, you don't have it. But you can diffuse all that tension by being transparent about your financial dealings. At least to the degree or to the best of your ability, it will help to manage certain kinds of conflicts that can come in the home. So the 8th tip I'm going to give is to keep learning. You never stop learning your spouse. You never stop learning, sincerely, because a person may not even know themselves. What do I mean? You may think you know yourself until a kind of pressure, external pressure, comes on you. Loss of a job, loss of a loved one, some debilitating illness, God forbid, something like that comes. It automatically puts pressure on the relationship and can change a person's behavior if that person is not mature enough to handle it in a mature way. Or even if the person is mature, sometimes pressure can make a person behave in a particular kind of way. So as life goes on, as the months roll, going through the first year, things will keep changing. Dynamics may change. Issues may come up. No matter what it is, keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, and keep learning. Keep learning your spouse. Keep understanding how they react to different situations so that you can know how to better manage each other and help your relationships to be strong and to be thriving and to be satisfactory to the both of you. So, tip number 9, ensure family and friends balance. What do I mean? I repeat it again. Ensure family and friends balance. Now I'm talking about the interference family and friends can have in your marriage. Manage it. Balance it. You are a new couple. You should be given space to know yourselves more. I personally don't subscribe to when a couple gets married, the next day, for instance, all your in-laws troop into the house and start living with you. You bring in all your siblings to start living with you. Or your wife brings in all her siblings to start living in the house. And you guys don't have enough time to bond and know each other more. You're busy managing a larger dynamic than what you thought or expected at the time you were getting married. Because you're getting married to one person. Yes, you're getting married into a family, but you're getting married to one person. You're not getting married to one person and 10 other siblings. Or one person and 2 other siblings and 5 other friends. No. Manage it. Put the right balance. Minimize interference in your new marriage from family and friends so that you guys can bond and know yourselves and you nurture that new family unit that you guys are starting. Tip number 10, consider having a marriage mentor. There are some curveballs that come in marriage that you or your spouse may not really know how to handle. But if you have a marriage mentor, somebody who has passed that journey that you're making and has succeeded and has a marriage that is working, you could always go to that person and they give you the right advice and tell you how to navigate that particular situation that you guys are facing. It's really a good practice. But in choosing a marriage mentor, please choose someone that has proven track record of success in their own marriages. Then tip number 11 is support each other's growth and aspirations. So whatever the dreams are, whatever your individual dreams are, always support each other. Support each other, help each other to grow. Finally, 12th key is lavishly express yourself physically. Express your love physically. Express your affection physically. Do the cuddling, do the kissing, do the holding hands and all that, because the physical expression of love and affection, it does really help to enhance bonding. I hope this video added value to you. If anything struck you, you can always leave a comment. You can even ask a question. I read all my comments and I will respond to them. And if you've not subscribed to this channel, you can kindly subscribe, like this video and click the notification bell so that any other video that comes out, you're going to be one of the first to know about it. I super celebrate you and I thank you for listening up until this moment. See you again in the next video.